Hello, I'm Susanna Burney, and I'm a performer and a server at Café Nordo. And until very recently, I was deep in rehearsals for Curiouser and Curiouser. I'm playing three amazing parts. I'm just so over the moon. I get to play the Queen of Hearts, who tells everybody she wants to chop their head off because that's what she lives for. And the Mock Turtle, oh my God, what a glorious little dance that is. And finally, the beautiful, wonderful White Knight, who I'm sort of thinking about as a kind of a Fred Rogers almost character. Now, when I work on adaptations, there's sort of a couple of things that happen. One is, as soon as I'm asked to audition, I go and find the book. If it's based on any material, obviously I'll read the play if it's a play. But if it's an adaptation, I go straight to the library or my bookshelf and I find it and I read it. But once we start rehearsing, yay, I got the part, I'm sort of wanting to look at the material at face value, like, what is the adaptation doing? But I like to refer back to the source material because there might be something missing that I think is really important. In fact, in my research, I discovered that a mock turtle is really a cow or a calf in a turtle shell, because mock turtle soup is actually made with cow parts. It's like a poor man's turtle soup. So a mock turtle isn't really a turtle, but he wants to be a turtle, and it's really sweet. One of our last rehearsals was a full run-through. We call it a designer run, but it was also a stumble-through. Like, it was the first time we had ever run the show completely, and all the designers were there, and the tech was there, the tech people, I mean. And it was like this crazy, we've been doing all these pieces, and how is it all gonna fit together? I don't know, but all the designers are watching, so let's do it. And it was really fun, and it was really cool. The Walrus and the Carpenter. The Walrus and the Carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk, along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4, to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, you know, they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4, and thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock, conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. But wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. Now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you admire the view? It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick, after we've brought them out so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing but, the butter's spread too thick. "Oh, oysters," said the carpenter, "you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again?" But answer came there none. And this was scarcely odd, because they'd eaten every one.